Hi, friends. I am excited to come to you and tell you exactly what's going to happen now that we are in phase one, according to the governor and according to our city, phase one of the reopening of our communities. We at Palm Coast Bible Church, we have a plan, and it goes right along with the phases that you see with the city and with the state, and so we'll be right inside of those phases. But you should know that it's very important that as we enter into each phase, there is one thing that is going to happen immediately before we do any of those phases, and that is this: that we are going to pray, we're going to listen, we're going to pray again, we're going to listen, and then we are going to act. And that's how we will move into each phase. Even though the city may move directly into it, or even though the state may move directly into it, we as Palm Coast Bible Church should be praying, listening, and then acting as we move into those phases. Now, as we go into these phases, here are some guidelines that we have for all the phases. And the first one is this: avoid close contact with people who are sick, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, stay home if you are sick, cover your mouth or sneeze with a tissue and then throw that tissue in the trash. I mean, these are common guidelines, right? Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. We'll be doing that kind of thing as we move about in our congregation. Further guidelines are that you would strongly consider using a face mask in public. And this is you. If you are one of more vulnerable populations, that's exactly what we need to do. Wash your hands. This is for everybody. Wash your hands often. And if soap and water is not available, we will have at Palm Coast Bible Church, we'll have some antibacteria hand sanitizer there for you. And always, though, you wash your hands with soap and water if they're visibly dirty. So those are the things that we are going to be doing as we move forward. Now, as we open up into the phases, let me tell you exactly how they're going to go about. And phase one looks like this for us: that the church building and the staff offices will remain closed to the public. This means that we're not ready to open everything up quite yet. Again, because in this phase, groups of 10 or less is what is recommended by the CDC. And so we're going to keep going along with that recommendation. The staff will continue to work from home, just like you're seeing me work from home right now. I've been doing a lot of this working from home. So we'll be teleworking as much as possible and not being out there. And then as all worship gatherings that we have will continue to be online. The Sparks Kids, the Ablaze Youth, the Bible studies, they'll all remain online. However, there is one slight difference here. We're going to encourage and going to help facilitate a weekly small group of 10 people or less that are in your home. So not open up to the church building yet, but they are inside your homes here in phase one. But we want them to be 10 people or less. And so we will be encouraging that. Now, within this phase, there are a couple of other things that we're considering because we know how much we want to gather with one another, and because 10 people or less is what it recommends. We might open up some time for a live taping of the sermon. In other words, we'll put out some kind of first come, first serve RSVP type of system, so where we can have 10 people or less show up to the church building and watch the sermon as it's being taped live. For those people who may want to do that, that's one of the things that we can offer during this time. Our sermons are recorded usually on Friday mornings, and so this would be a great opportunity to be a part of that. And so that's what's going to happen in phase one. And as you know, with the city and with the state, 14 days, if we are doing well for 14 days, we'll move into phase two. And so phase two is going to look a lot like this: that the staff offices will reopen with limited hours. We are not going to be fully opened yet, but we will have limited hours where we will meet as a staff in a live staff meeting rather than over telework. But then we will work from home as much as possible that we possibly can. The church building will be open during the week for things like Bible studies and small groups and other activities that are limited to 50 people or less. So that means Ablaze Youth can come and be a part of their regular youth meetings on Sunday nights. And so that's an opportunity for that, or your Bible studies that you might have there, or if you have a small group that needs to meet, you can do that. We're going to continue to promote and encourage in-home Bible studies and small groups, and we can't wait for everybody to be involved in that. But then our worship gatherings, they're going to remain online. Our Sparks Kids gatherings are also going to remain online only and in a virtual worship gathering, a virtual environment. And the reason for that is because in this phase two, it is 50 people or less, and it's hard for us to get 50 people or less in our sanctuary and in our congregation. We just don't want to open that up for more things. Now, as we are talking about in phase 1, we are talking about an opportunity in phase 2 where maybe that we will go and we will also have an RSVP type of system where people can choose to come and watch a recording of the worship band in phase 2. We're also talking about an idea of having maybe multiple times of 50 and just keeping it at 50 people or less to where we have a live worship. So we're having some strategy sessions on that, and we'll be letting you know more as we get closer to that. And then from 14 days that we're in phase 2, and assuming things are still looking good, we're going to get to phase 3. And here's what phase 3 is, and this is what we're excited about. Everything opens back up the way that we are expecting and hoping for everything to open back up. Sunday experiences will resume at the church building. The offices in the church building will be open with no restrictions. Staff will be back there as they are normally there. And we will continue to do our worship gatherings live streamed. So not only that, you will have the opportunity to still see the worship gathering online as we live stream that worship gathering. Now, I know this may bring up some more questions, and you may wonder what's going on, and you may have some other questions about how we're going to do all this. Believe me, I've got some of those questions too, and so we're working through that strategy, but I wanted to give you an update on here's where we're going and what we'll be doing as the different phases progress and as Palm Coast Bible Church begins to open up. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic week. Feel free to call, text, email me, whatever you want to do. I love to just to help with your questions and everything you have there. All right, so I look forward to seeing you as soon as I possibly can, but remember that I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Have a great week.